Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television, live from Lagos. A quick reminder of our top stories now. We told you, the Supreme Court dismisses Senate President's appeal, challenging his trial by the Code of Conduct Tribunal. And President Muhammadu Buhari confirms 2.2 trillion naira saved since the introduction of the Treasury single account. Medical doctors in Imo State protest state government hospitals concession plan, threaten to shut down all health facilities if the plan is not discarded. An Islamist militant group Al-Shabaab takes control of key Somali port city of Merka after African Union forces pull out. Do remember that all our top stories can be found on our website. It's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. When you're done downloading, we do urge you to please interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS and Windows platforms. If you've got pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, simply tap on the Channels TV app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
And now to the pictures you sent to our Eyewitness portal. First is this one from Dutse in Jigawa State, showing a filling station in a residential area. Our Eyewitness reporter wants the authorities to look into this dangerous situation. Next is this one from Buruku in Benue State, showing residents trying to cross Buruku River. Our Eyewitness reporter is asking the government to alleviate the sufferings of the people by constructing a bridge over the river. We also have this one from Ogwe in Enugu State, showing a boutique owner displaying their wares under an electricity infrastructure. Our Eyewitness reporter wants residents to desist from this kind of risk. And finally is this one from Oshobo in Osun State, showing a long petrol queue. Our Eyewitness reporter says that artificial scarcity is gradually building up again in the state. We do sincerely thank you so much indeed for sending in those pictures, as we ask that you keep them coming.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Well, mixed reactions continue to trail the outcome of the Supreme Court's ruling on some governorship elections. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Chief John Oyego, in an exclusive interview with Channels Television today, says he is shocked at the verdict of the Apex Court.
To my expectation as a person, to the party's expectations, to even the expectations of Nigerians generally, that there's no doubt about, then it calls for worry. As party leader, national chairman, of course I am worried. We have lost Taraba. Is it Labour Party or whichever it was, has lost Abia. We have lost Rivers. We have lost Akwa Ibom. We had already, of course, lost Delta. That becomes very, very worrisome, especially, let me emphasize, under circumstances where expectations were different. But it is, at this stage, difficult to pronounce. I was in a state of shock. That one must say. One was in a state of shock. We needed explanations, needed introspection, and until the court now gives us the reasons for these decisions, every other thing we say is speculation. So we'll just be patient. It has dealt the party, so to speak, a body blow, from which we have to rebuild quickly. We have to start the process of reinstilling confidence in our followers that there isn't something sinister going on. We have even been accused by Elsa Akwa Ibom, Rivers, that we have sold out deliberately to appease some whatever interest and things like that. So it has given us a tremendous amount of work to do. Secondly, it has unfortunately tended to consolidate a political division in the nation which we did not want, we did not wish for. It sort of consolidated, and that has consequences. It has political consequences. It has consequences for national integration. It has consequences for national unity. So when one says one is shocked, one is worried, it is for good reason. It is not an aspersion at any institution of state. As a party and as somebody who cares for the nation, the decisions have introduced new elements into the political landscape of this nation, and we have a right to be worried.
The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Chief John Oyegun, on the news at 10. Let's now shift gears as we take you to our Abuja studio where Yemisi Paye is standing by to take us through. Yemisi.
Hello, Gimbo, and welcome to Abuja, the nation's capital. Now, it's not the APC alone that's unhappy with the Supreme Court judgment, but the All Progressives Grand Alliance candidate in the Abia governorship election, Dr. Alex Oti, says the judges are human and may have made mistakes. However, Dr. Oti, at a press conference in Lagos, says although he and his party are not happy with the outcome of the Apex Court's ruling, they have accepted it in good faith.
For us in ABGA, and for me particularly, I'd like to start by thanking God for the opportunity to offer myself and ourselves to serve the people of Abia State. Because what we came to do was service. So for us, it's not a matter of life and death. We have accepted the judgment of the Supreme Court, even if we do not agree with them. But they are the highest court in the land, and I believe that in their wisdom, they had given the judgment the way they understood it. We will not expect that they cannot make mistakes or they are infallible. So as human beings, I believe they have delivered the judgment the way they did. For us as a party and for us as candidates, we didn't think that justice was done to the case, but it's a matter that we don't want to push beyond this.
It appears controversy is brewing over the 19th of March new date announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission for the conduct of the National and State Assembly elections in Rivers State. While some lawyers say INEC reserves the right to decide the appropriate time to conduct the polls, the Attorney General of Rivers State, Emma Aguma, insists the Commission must follow the rule of law by not exceeding the cutoff date. Our correspondent Emmanuel Ereyi reports.
At a recent meeting of INEC officials and political leaders in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, when February 6 was first canvassed as the date for the State and National Assembly rerun election, some political parties disagreed, claiming that they needed more time to prepare for the polls.
I want to put it to you that IPAC will not appreciate or accept that short notice for this election.
And now, the March 19 new date, as announced by the electoral body, is raising legal questions over whether INEC is within its rights to extend the time. Some lawyers believe that the time limit is at the discretion of the Commission.
Declaration by the court to hold these elections or conduct them on that particular date within 60 days was really actually not binding on INEC in the sense that it wasn't the real issue before the court. Because what you truly obey, what you call a decision of the court is the real decision, the ratio decidendi, as we call it, the real decision, which is the decision tied or founded on the issue before the court.
It's INEC that will be able to determine whether the 60 days has expired or whether the time they fixed for the election is within the 60 days, because they know when they were served.
For the State Attorney General, there is no provision in the Electoral Act that allows INEC to exercise the discretion of time.
It is no excuse that INEC is not ready for the election, because the provisions of the law are clear, and INEC ought to anticipate that one of the directives that could come from a tribunal or the appellate tribunal is that elections should be conducted.
In the light of various litigations that entangled the last general elections, some say INEC would do well to ensure that the upcoming legislative rerun elections in the state is not just credible, free and fair, but also free of any legal web that may jeopardize the entire process. Emmanuel Ere, Channels Television News.
Members of the Nigerian Medical Association in Imo State have threatened to shut down all health facilities if the state government fails to abolish its hospital's concession plan. The association, which made this known during a protest, called on state authorities to follow due process during the concession. However, the state government insists it intends to make the sector more effective.
Members of the Nigerian Medical Association, Imo State Chapter, at the Union Secretariat, they gathered here to embark on a peaceful protest on the ongoing concession plan of the state government. From the Secretariat, they take to the streets with the police present to provide security and ensure there's no breakdown of law and order. But the protest turns rowdy as argument erupts between the doctors and the police over those protesting in front of the government's house. A member of the group is injured, even as the police claims innocence.
Look at him there. Look at him that shot us. Look at him there. Shoot. We're wondering if we're not part of the state. So when we got to this point, the doctors insisted that we must go and deliver a letter to the governor. And lo and behold, these policemen started shooting tear gas, and then a consultant, family physician with FMC, was shot and is bleeding profusely and has been taken to the hospital now.
The men on ground discovered that hoodlums later took over the entire Freedom Square, and our men had to use most reasonable force, persuasive force, to disperse the hoodlums. And that was what happened. As per the police shooting at anybody, to the best of our knowledge, I'm not aware of any policeman shooting at any person.
Meanwhile, the Commissioner for Health in the state says the new policies by the state government is to make the health sector more effective and efficient.
Well, if a state government brings out any policy, in whatever form and shape, he desires, or the government desires, that this should be in the best interest of the people. No state policy, no state government will on its own desire to bring us something that you think will hurt the people.
This is not the first group to voice their grievances over the government's plan to concession some parastatals. Residents believe government should follow due process for the good of the people.
And that's all from Abuja. Back to you, Gimbo.
Yemisi from our Abuja studios. Brilliant. And when the news at 10 returns, AMCON dissolves board of aero contractors, appoints manager to oversee the airline's affairs. We have that coming up shortly after this break. Stay with us.